Well, good morning people. Moorland Biker here. We're at the door of the man cave. One door's open at the minute. Still no riding to be done yet. It's my knee's a lot better, but it's not good enough yet. I'm resting it properly. But in this one, this takes us back to the Sunday before last, when I led a ride out from the Yew Tree at Cauldon. Now, regular viewers will know that I don't ride in groups usually. I'm not a loner, I just prefer to ride alone for various reasons. The only real exceptions are when there's a group of us riding the lanes, because when you're off-road, there's safety in numbers. But once a year I get coerced, I volunteer, if you like, to lead a ride out from the Yew Tree. There's usually a few quid raised for charity, so it's not a bad cause, and Dan asks me to do it because of my knowledge of the lanes and the destinations for lunch and that sort of thing. So just once a year I allow myself that little bit extra. This time I'd been to Heage Windmill over in Derbyshire to a classic car meet, just being nosy, but I picked up on the fact that there was a classic bike meet a couple of weeks later, so I thought that would be a good plan, a good destination for the ride out. Normally there's in the region of 40, quite a lot really, bikes. Would you believe 90 turned up that Sunday morning? I didn't know. I didn't think I was going to get them all there, to be honest, and we didn't. No matter what system we use, there's always something falls down, and sure enough, we got split up. Hardly surprising really, but there was a good collection of bikes there. Either way, we made it to the windmill at Heage, and there was a good selection of classics there. It's a marvellous place really, and it's well worth a visit. There was a burger van there, as you'd expect, and one or two other things. But it was a good day out as well, weather-wise. It was fantastic weather, and it was enjoyed. I think even those that didn't manage to get there enjoyed the day out as well. So, but it ended. The video ends a little bit abruptly. So at the end of the video, I'll be putting another appearance just to say cheerio and the usual sort of comments, if you like. So have a look through it and see what you think, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Well, you join us at the Yew Tree at Cauldon at the start of the annual charity bike run. This one is in aid of cancer research, and it worries me that there's about 70 plus bikes and I'm leading it. If this all works out, it'll be a sodding miracle, and that's putting it plainly. One is just trying to make sure that everybody is ready for the off. How on earth do we keep 70 odd bikes in one procession? And we're away. There's Dave sorting out his own video. Where we're going to be going is a windy route, if you like. There's all manner of bikes behind me, from 125s up to great big gold wings. So it's going to be a steady ride, a meandering route from here across down towards Dovedale, out the other side, near to Tissington, out to Middleton Top, where the engine house is. Then across to Bowl Hill, over the top, via the Malt Shovel Pub and down to the A6, and then short run down the A6 to Ambergate, where we'll hang a left, then up to Sawmills, and then just beyond Sawmills we'll hang a right and up to Heage Windmill. And I'm hoping it turns out to be as good as I'm expecting. It's a bit special because it's a classic bike meet, or a classic bike show I should say, so there should be plenty there to take in. Right, we're going to have a break now. Just give Dave a chance to get on his bike and catch up with us. Got to give Dave a chance to get on his bike and catch up with us. Well, that was a bit tiring, but we're all together at last, so we can make a proper start. Such a great day for it anyway. Cauldon Low to the left of it. Well, this is Cauldon Low, but to the left of us is massive quarry workings. Originally Earl Cement, then it became Blue Circle, and I think the current company that runs the operation is Lafarge. I feel sorry for anybody emerging onto this road for the next couple of minutes, because they've got a veritable swarm of motorbikes to wait for to go past. Sadly, there was nobody volunteering for a ride in the sidecar. I don't know what they're frightened of, I'm sure. I suppose it's not everybody's cup of tea. They don't know what they're missing. As always, I'm trying something a little bit different on this trip. I've got a camera mounted on the back of the sidecar facing backwards, so again, if it works, it'll be a miracle. We'll see. Big time at the minute for agricultural contractors, combine harvesters, round balers. It's reached a stage now where the farmers, it's not worth them equipping themselves for their own haymaking, the old-fashioned haymaking. Still one or two do it with the old-fashioned mowers and tedders and balers, but in a lot of ways it's easier to just employ the services of the contractors, which is what we just experienced coming the other way. And there's a field on the left that's already been had the job started. We have got one or two novices on little 125s who've obviously got limited speed abilities, so trying to keep it down to 40 at the absolute maximum, so try and keep everybody happy. With 70 odd bikers behind me, it's going to be very, very difficult to keep everybody happy, that's a certain fact. So here's the first of the potential delays, problems, whatever. We cross the Leek to Ashbourne Road here, the A52. Well, we're on the A52 as it is, but yeah, this is where the 523 joins it. We've got one of the nicest stretches in front of us now, because very shortly we'll be dropping into the Dove Valley. Fantastic view out over the Dove Valley as we drop down into Ilam. It's a little valley up the right here. I spent many hours underground up there. Waterway Swallet. It wasn't really a cave, it was a true pothole really. A bit tight, a bit squirmy, but we were trying to find a way through, trying to extend it way back in the 80s now. Couldn't do it now. Too much girth and too little flexibility. That was just behind us on the right hand side. Another little bit of my varied history, shall we say. Oh, lovely potholes. Still coming, it's good. As long as everybody keeps the bike in front and the bike behind in view, we shouldn't have a problem. Shouldn't have a problem. Yes, this is Bloor Pastures up here. Scenic car park. It takes some beating. What a marvellous view. The village of Ilam is down below us, and then over to the right is that gateway to Dovedale. The flat topped hill on the right is Thorpe Cloud, and the ridge of hill on the left is Bunster Hill. Yes, gateway to Dovedale. Beyond there is Dovedale proper, about 3.5 miles of very spectacular limestone scenery with the River Dove cutting through it. Well, there's a long enough line behind. Well, it is a Sunday, so we can expect quite a few lovely tourists. Well, she was smiling seeing the sidecar outfit coming through, one or two behind, but when she gets another 70 coming through, she might not be quite so happy. So this is Ilam. We're going to turn right here. A model village, Ilam. I'm sure I've covered it before, but back in the day, as they say, the original village was across behind us now, across below Ilam Hall, which was the manor house effectively. But the lord of the manor, shall we say, he didn't like to be able to see the village from his bedroom window or from his drawing room window, so he had the new village built and moved all his tenants into the new village and then demolished the original village, and there's nothing left of the original village other than the church. That's happened in one or two places up and down the country, I know, but that's Ilam's little claim to fame or notoriety. And this is the river Manifold to the right of us, because the Manifold comes down the valley that comes into Ilam behind us and then meanders across here, where eventually in just a short distance it joins the River Dove. It's a tributary of the Dove, is the Manifold. And the Dove in turn is a tributary of the River Trent. So it looks like there's been an incident. That, unless I'm mistaken, is the air ambulance that's buzzing around up there in front of us. When I was involved in mountain rescue back in the 80s and 90s, we did have the occasional call out to twisted ankles and the like, people climbing Thorpe Cloud up there in front of us on the left. We're now in Derbyshire, by the way, across the Dove back there. That puts us, because the Dove is the physical boundary between Derbyshire and Staffordshire, so we've done our Staffordshire Moorlands bit, so now we're entering Derbyshire Dales, and we stay pretty much in the Derbyshire Dales until our destination. Yeah, there's been an incident somewhere. I'll have to look that up when we get in. Always interested. I might not be involved in mountain rescue anymore, but always interesting. Interested to know what's going on. I miss it really. This is the village of Thorpe. And the pub here in Thorpe is an example of what's been going on hereabouts for decades now. They have to change the name. They have to do it for some reason. Yeah. Dog and Partridge this pub was and always will be to me. What's it now? The Old Dog. Why do they have to do it? Right, we're coming to the A515 now, so I'm going to switch off for now because it gets a bit boring from here, so I'll see you in a bit. Coming to another nice bit now. Welcome back. The bridge in front of us, this carries the High Peak Trail over the road, and just beyond here we're going to turn right. This is the trail that runs off from Parsley Hay from the Tissington Trail and leads down to Cromford effectively. So we're going to turn right and head across, not to Brassington, but towards Brassington. One of the features on the High Peak Trail is Middleton Top, the engine house at Middleton Top. You can recognise it by its tall chimney. When we're not calling there, but it's one of the landmarks. Well, the bikes still seem to be following, and as long as everybody's keeping an eye on the bike in front and the bike behind and staying in touch, we should be okay. Carsington Water in the middle distance in front of us. We've got another left turn to make just down here, so we won't be going down to Carsington Water. Just across here, just in case there are any geologists. I'm not a geologist. I've been a rock climber. Rock types have always interested me, but not a geologist. But the White Peak, Derbyshire Dales District Council is basically in the limestone area of the Peak District, and the White Peak refers to the pale colour of the stone. Most of the limestone that makes up the stone walls, for instance, around here is what we call carboniferous limestone, which is it's carboniferous limestone where you tend to find the caves where the water has become carbonic acid and worn up. Anyway, enough of that. But just occasionally the slightly different type of limestone, and just up on the left of us here is Harbour of Rocks. Beyond the works here, up on the skyline, up on the left, is Harbour Rocks. This is dolomitic limestone, totally different nature. It's still limestone, but it's like it's really, really intricate little knobbles and pockets, and yeah, dolomitic limestone. It's an absolute playground for climbers. Marvellous view from here out across South Derbyshire and effectively over towards Leicestershire, probably into Leicestershire to be honest, right out there in the distance. We've got the High Peak Trail just to the left of us. The stone wall over the far side of the field, that boundary, beyond that boundary is the High Peak Trail, the former railway line that led down to effectively the canal basin down at Cromford. One of the main reasons being that the cotton mills were down there. Sir Richard Arkwright had two cotton mills effectively in Cromford. Great entrepreneur, inventor, industrialist, Richard Arkwright. Just on the left of us here, you can't tell with the camera, but we're descending a reasonably steep hill just here, and the railway track on the left of us also descends quite a steep hill, and on more than one occasion trains have actually run away down that steep incline. Hey, that's an Odin. Oh, it's customised. It's a hot rod. indeed a marvellous view.
You can see the tall chimney I was talking about up to the left of us, up there. You should be able to see it anyway. That marks Middleton Top, the engine house at Middleton Top. And basically what there is the far side of that is a very long and steep incline, another incline, effectively all the way down to Cromford. And the engine house was a winding engine. You can see the house now, the engine house up there was a winding engine, and the winding engine, it hauled the trains, all the trucks I should say, back up. Fairly sure they didn't use locomotives on. There's the incline in front of us. We're just going to go under it.
It was too steep for locomotives, so it's just the rolling stock, just the trucks that were lowered and raised by the winding engine. Now we've got traffic lights here, so this could cause a problem. I'll switch off for now. And we're back. Dropping into the Wye Valley now, coming down to Wat Standwell. We unfortunately have to use the A6 a little bit, just for a few miles down to Ambergate before turning off towards our destination. But it's a nice view across the valley, and just had a pleasant surprise. 2 or 3 red kites out hunting. Didn't know there were any across here. The red kite, it's becoming more and more prolific all the time. The first ones were introduced to mid Wales, just outside Machynlleth, and they've been spreading everywhere ever since. They've been artificially reintroduced, but they were. The red kite was an indigenous species, hunted to extinction by farmers mainly, and there are still farmers that just don't like them. They claim that they're taking young lambs and inflicting damage on livestock, but I think the wildlife is more important personally, but never mind. Up on the hillside there's a mock lighthouse. I think it's a rebuilt lighthouse in actual, which is effectively a war memorial, but directly below it is Christ's Tramway Museum. Sadly we won't be seeing the Tramway Museum. No, it isn't our destination, in case anybody was wondering.
So this is where we join the A6. Unfortunately it's impossible to get to where we're going without touching the occasional A road, but this is about the longest section of an A road that we're going to be on. Also down here, just looking at the old MG that's just gone past, there is the car museum. Ooh, this is busy.
That's the river that runs through Matlock and Matlock Bath we just crossed.
So we turn left here, and our destination at Heage is not too far away at all now, so we should be there for about 12ish, perhaps just after. just after 12 I should think. Bit industrialised down here. So we're going to hang a right here.
We have to park in the field on the left hand side, Duck. It's full up the far end.
There's about 70 of us.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Alright. Well, here we are at Heage Windmill on their classic bike day. Having said that, the first thing we look at is a classic three-wheeler. Lots of them about. Some really unusual bikes. Norton Model 50. Whoa. Staccato 1-2 dustbin fairing. Honda Bentley. Lovely old Sunbeam. And it's one of the small MVs. MV Augusta. Oh.
I did send on the event WhatsApp.
Just look at that. Classic racing, matchless. Be the same engine as the AJ7R, I think, the boy racer.
Like natural.
Well done, Martin. Lovely route.
So when someone says like natural,
Well, the one we
like,
took was.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the day. Don't want these behind.
What we got over here? Alcyon. Yeah. I was thinking the Yew Tree. It's not the best pub in the world, but it's reasonable. So before I was rudely interrupted, some of the bikes have gone now. Japanese classics, GT 550. Oh no, GT 500. Oh, that's a bike. In America they called it the Cobra. An earlier model of it at least. Oh. Lovely old plunger frame Beezer. It'll be a B model, will that? One across here. $750, a 1972 750 Interstate Commando.
same as my first true superbike, and oh, it's got an 850 engine in it. The original engine would have been a combat engine, which wasn't all that successful. Norton Dominator. Honda, that was my second superbike back in the 70s. A good turnout. Now here's a little bike I had a lot of time for. TS250 MZ. Great little workhorse. I don't recognise that plunger frame door. I'd like to know more about that. I think it's a special of some sort. Well, that's it. Like I said, it's a bit of an abrupt ending, but by the time we got to the windmill, I was more concerned with making sure everybody arrived, to be honest, than sorting the video out. So, well, if you watched it through, I hope you enjoyed it, found it interesting at least, and yeah, as usual, give us a thumbs up if you could, and subscribe if you're not already done. We're getting there slowly, as always, and yeah, and don't forget to push that notification button so you get to know when my videos are coming out. When the next one's going to be, I don't know. I've got to give me the well and truly chance to recover, so I'll see you in the next one anyway. I've got one or two things lined up, so let's see what transpires, shall we? Thanks again for watching anyway. Cheers.